We have a generation of people that have never really had to deal with this situation. And I have another person that mentioned that some of this support also is we have, generations removed from at least the atrocities that we saw, right? With September 11th that don't understand what the US went through. And then, this new generation of people, these younger people, in their lifetime haven't really seen the effects of true terrorism or not on a broad scale like it used to be. It never really went away, but it wasn't as bad now as it used to be until recently. Now we're looking at this war between Hamas and Israel, and this is the first time they've been able to see a conflict like this of this scale, and they don't know what to make of it. They don't know how to make the connection as to why Hamas is considered bad. Who really is Palestine? Palestine's not a nation. They were a region. They were always referred to as a region that encompassed a lot of other tribes and not nations, but tribes and other cultures together. It was always considered a region, not a nation. So they don't get that. They don't understand that. They can't make that connection. So they just see, oh, this is bad. There's no reason this war should be happening. And then you also have Ukraine going on. But it seems like the younger people really attach themselves to this Palestinian or Palestine versus Israel, or Hamas versus Israel war. And I think it's because they just don't understand or see what is behind it all. Like what is the true history? Not just what they hear, because it seems like this is really what pisses me off lately, Ryan. I don't know if you agree, but it seems like we're living through a period of revisionist history. We got you don't have to say anything because I know you can't, but I'll just say it. You have guys like this Martyr Made guy who believes suddenly that Hitler's a good guy. He wasn't all that bad. He said a few things, but all in all, his intent was good. And, Winston Churchill was the bad guy. And if it wasn't for Winston Churchill, we wouldn't have had to go to war with Germany, et cetera. And it just makes you scratch your head. It's like, where is all this revisionist history stuff coming from? It's really easy to be, 20, 30, 40 years removed from something and then go back and say, well, it should have been done this way. You didn't live through it. You didn't understand what was really happening. So I believe that could also be what's going on right now. We have a generation of people that have never really had to deal with this situation. And right now, with the way social media is, it's so prevalent. You cannot turn it off. Every time you turn your phone on, it's another headline, it's another picture, it's another video. Some of that's fake, but still.
I recall how there was this one college professor, an interview with him, and he's starting to realize that a lot of his students have no real concept of September 11th.